Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for a graphic novels that I have recently read through video, and I must admit it's really nice to catch up with some more graphic novels, and especially to share them with those who watch the channel. So first things first, I'll cover the ones that I recently finished, which were the Teen Titans ones, but I'll go through the list of what I went through. I think that will be better first, doing that. So we have a local artist, or a local creator here, to which they did this one called Cranburn. I've met him in person, and yeah, I know whereabouts he lives here in Australia. And he is quite a nice person, and on top of that, I did end up getting some additional comics connected to this, but they're not going to be covered in relation to this particular review, just the graphic novel itself. Of course, we have Firepower, Sex by Joe Casey, Freedom Fighters by Robert Venditti. Fantastic, absolutely enjoyed it, but I'm not done yet. I still got to get around to the ratings. Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, and of course The Department of Truth, Volume 1, yes, rereading through the first arc. We have Radiant Black, the terrible J.J. and Henry Abrams story, Aquaman Rebirth, Volume 3, Batwoman, also connected Rebirth, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, Pulp. We Only Find Them When We're Dead. And last but not least, Joe the Barbarian by Grant Morrison with art by Sean Murphy. Moving into the last number of trades or graphic novels, we have Books of Magic, Life and Death of Toyo Harada, which was really quite interesting. The Visitor, also by Valiant. And last but not least, the run where I really lost my interest in The Destruction of Damian Wayne, Teen Titans by Adam Glass, and eventually Robbie Thompson. But I'm not up to that one yet, so I'll be there soon. So moving into the rating side of things. Well, I think I better start off the last ones first. So moving into the Teen Titans. Overall, I am going to give them a 6.5 out of 10. But you know what? The art by Bernard Chang is the only thing that sort of saved that comic run. Yeah, the story might have been terrible, but his art was great. And there were some incredible covers as well that I really enjoyed for that series. For him, he actually deserves a bit of an 8 out of 10 for his work, for having to put up with all the bullshit with DC Comics destroying Damian Wayne and his character. After Justice League, no justice. Now, moving into something a little bit more exciting and a little bit more worth the pick up, we have The Visitor by Valiant Comics. And we have it written by Paul Levitz. Very interesting storyline. It starts off as a bit of a detective story as to finding out who this person is that's pulling off such events, and then eventually, as we move towards the end of the story, we start to find out who it is. So I really like the execution of this. An 8 out of 10. Life and Death of Toyo Harada, a recommendation from someone who I know not only on Discord but also on the channel, or that subscribes to the channel. For this, I found it really interesting as we got to explore, well, the full-on life and death of Toyo Harada himself. And it was really worth it. So And I think it encompasses quite a lot of his character and how he connects to the Harbinger project. So for that, an 8 out of 10. Books of Magic, both of these, an 8 out of 10. One's done by, I think it's Howard, and the other one's connected to the original. Or one of the originals. Oh, we've got John Bolton. Moving into Radiant Black. Yes, this story is a slow starter, but once it starts to kick in all gears, it does actually improve, to which I give it a 7 out of 10 for that volume. My goodness, the J.J. Abrams one was weird as shit, being completely honest. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to give it a 5.5 out of 10. So, moving into Aquaman Rebirth, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. And that's volume 3. The last volume of Batwoman, which is somewhat connected to the Rebirth series, I give a 7.5 out of 10. Pulp, I really enjoyed. It's a great recommendation. A 7.5 out of 10. We only find them when they're dead. The first volume, a 7 out of 10. Grant Morrison and Sean Gordon Murphy together on one book. Awesome combination, plus an awesome story. This thing deserves a bloody 9. I enjoyed this. Plus, in the process, you also learn something else about the character. Yes, it's indie. I don't care that it's indie, but you learn about something that connects to this character's sugar levels as well. It's not diabetes, but it's something else that it actually addresses in the story. But you also see the character of Joe go through a bit of an experience where he's connected to things of his past, but also things to which he has to work on maintaining his own survival of sorts, or to make sure he's got his medication to do what he needs to do. And this is why it deserves a 9 out of 10. Moving into the Department of Truth. I know some people like the series, others don't. That's up to you. For myself, I actually quite enjoy the exploration of people's thoughts and whatever else in regards to the area of conspiracy, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Year of the Villain. Oh gosh, this terrible disaster which came out through DC. That plus other things under Dan Didio. For this, I'm just going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Freedom Fighters, though, great recommendation, and a big thanks to Ashon Comics, who also recommended it on his channel, plus through his Discord. This was fantastic. I enjoyed how Robert Venditti executed this story. For it, a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, a 9.5. Moving into Sex with Joe Casey. Now, this is an interesting series. It's one of the next volumes. I think it's volume 2 or 3 that I've got there. I'll just double check. It is volume 2. It's sort of like works outside the area of sort of like superheroes of sorts, but it's basically superheroes, or a superhero that sort of like discovers a type of sex cult of sorts, and he's also got to find and find his own ways to which to expose certain people within the industry. Very clever. I still need to get more of this. I do like Joe Casey's writing. Just sometimes for me it can take a little bit to get through. Overall, I'll just give it a 7 out of 10. Also enjoyed the art. Firepower, Volume 2, great series. 8.5 out of 10 without even seconding it. And of course, last but not least, Cranbourne by the creator who actually lives here in Australia. it can get a little bit confusing sometimes with the story, but the art in it is absolutely great. It does feel a little bit gritty, but the story is also gritty too. So in that, the art really works with the story, to which I will give it a 7.5 out of 10. Well, until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.